Toshiba C650D-00E. The official laptop that'll piss you right the fuck off! I wasn't kidding when this laptop will piss you off. It will piss you off. Anyways, this is the Toshiba C650D-00E. I'm pretty sure the three last characters don't mean shit. But this is this laptop, a budget laptop. Budget. Powered by an AMD E350, 6 gigs of RAM and a 500 gig hard drive, and at a price put at $500. Yeah, right, there's no way this is a budget machine. But anyways, this laptop sounds like it's a decent performer, right? Well, no. See, it lures you in with that 6 gigs of RAM, like, oh, it's got tons of RAM, and this machine's from around 2011, so 6 gigs of RAM is like, ooh. But the problem lies within the processor. An AMD 350 is performs on par, a bit better or even worse than an Intel Atom from that generation. Even an Intel Celeron would whoop the floor out of that machine. And I'm not kidding, this thing is unbelievably slow. And it doesn't help too about the hard drive. Well, the hard drive's bad. Ha, go figure. But even if you put an SSD, that would work, right? Make it faster? Well, no. You got two problems. One, the interface, and two, the damn processor again. You think this would be Serial ATA3, you know, 2011, Serial ATA3 is getting mainstream, right? Nope, Serial ATA 150. Yeah, that's the first version of Serial ATA. Not even Serial ATA 2, Serial ATA 1. Yup. What the actual fuck were they thinking when they made this machine? Anyways, it's got a nice 15-inch display, has a keypad, full-blown keypad, so it's nice, you know, the touchpad feels okay. Ships in with Windows 7 Home Premium. Actually, Microsoft said this thing is eligible for Windows 10. Ha, I upgraded it, and it worked better, but not much. Now it's running LXLE, and holy balls is this thing slow. And it's for a lightweight machine. This processor is so bad, unbelievably bad. Oh, you're gonna hear me ramble about that. And just to add insult to injury, these machines have a different board with a socket S1 where you can put an AMD Athlon in them, and you'd get away with it. You just have to have you'll just have a different model number, but it's the same bloody thing. And I've seen one with the processor go for $70 on eBay. But you don't have the same cooler, so you have to find a new cooler for that too. And sure, there is an AMD E450, which doesn't bear much, but if you want to upgrade it, well, you're fucked. The CPU's soldered in. Oh, that's just great. Anyways, ports-wise, what do we have? Well, we have our 19 volts AC adapter here. We have our DVD burner here. In the front, we have Toshiba Signature SD card reader here. Our power and battery LED, and once again I have to tell you, the damn hard drive LED is non-existent. Is this getting obsolete? Is this the new wave of saying, well, we don't need a hard drive LED anymore, like those things are so yesterday? I like to see what my machine's doing, and if it hung, I'd like to know, you know? Also tell me a bit too if my hard drive is actually starting to die. I can see the LED and then start listening to it instead of just listening to it and just maybe taking a wild guess. Anyways, it's a precursor. I wouldn't base my mind on that, but anyways. Kensington lock, ventilation. Yeah, this thing needs still ventilation. Haha. VGA, 2 USB ports, and gigabit Ethernet jack. It's got Serial ATA 150, who cares? And a headphone and microphone jack. Not, you know, pretty basic stuff. And at the back we got sweet fuck all. So now you must be asking yourself, why am I seeing the camcorder in the background? Well, it's got a gloss finish. But on a more serious note, you got to be asking yourself, why is it so bad? Well, let me demonstrate. This thing holds a charge, which is great. I wonder why. This laptop has barely been used, but I wonder why again. So, it holds a charge, the CMOS is good. So anyways, we have an AMD E350 clocked at 1.6 gigahertz, which seems a little low, but 6 gigs of RAM, a 500 gig hard drive from Seagate, a Machita DVD burner. Ooh. And we can change the language to English, Chinese, and French. Well, I have no idea about this one. Let me just sec for shits and giggles. Oh boy. Oh, let's turn it back to English. I know French, but whatever. We got the password, yada yada yada. We even have the hard drive HDD SSD password mode, user only, user and master. And you can just set it up, but who cares about that? I think this is the password if you want to modify the hard drive, I guess. I'm not sure. If you guys know, let me know, please. Power management, wake up on LAN, wake on keyboard, critical battery wake up. Yeah. So this thing would basically, if you enable it, if the battery becomes low, or very low, during standby, it'll turn on. Okay. Sure. Dynamic CPU frequency mode, dynamic switch, or we can always set it to always low. And always low makes it even worse. So, yeah. Serial ATA interface setting, performance or battery life. Once again, it's either or super slow. Oh well. Boot speed is normal or fast, which I have no idea. Doesn't make a difference really. Beep sound on, USB legacy emulations. Okay, system configuration, blah 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 blah. Compatibility or AHDI. If this thing had RAID, I'd be pretty damn surprised. And floppy disk drive if it's via USB and LAN, blah blah. It does support booting USB, so that's a plus. So anyways, let's get out of here and let's show you why this thing performs so bad. 53 seconds to boot. Not bad, I guess. As you can see, I've been using it to try to restore my Note 3 anyways, and I did not like the experience at all. So our CPU idles at 5%, 6%. Now I'm going to go hit start, 11%, and we're going to go and open Chromium, out of all things. And again, let me start this. 14, 22, it goes up again and up. And let me tell you, if you load a page, this thing goes 100% all the time. So I'm going to minimize, just try to keep it below so we can see. Look, we're at 66%, 73. We just opened Google, for crying out loud. So we're going to go to Canada Computers, and our CPU usage goes up the roof again. 87%, and that's pretty much it. Try to scroll it down, you'll see that it's okay, I'm just gonna see this action here, and the CPU idles at more than, it's around 69%, 55%, and it idles around, hovers around anywhere, well that's a low, it hovers around 50%. That's pretty bad. I'm going to go ahead and do some application browsing. Oh look, we're going to be looking at a RX 480, why not? And the CPU goes up and up and up, we're 95%, and we hit the full throttle, 100%. Normally, it would take around maybe 8 to 10% on a normal CPU, but this thing is just, And how about games? We're going to play a game. So the CPU hovers around in the 60% range for this little game. So yeah, the menu had even a higher CPU frequency. This thing is not that bad now. But, no worry, don't let the looks fool you. We're up at 58. And this is just a basic game. And for some reason when you go full screen, this is a LXLE bug. Not a big deal. So let's try another game. remember, those are lightweight games. If you think about playing Fallout 4 or anything like that, you know what? Good luck. Because just to give you even a more tease, this thing is an APU. Okay, let's play Jewel. Something pretty, normal. So this lightweight game hovers around in the 20% range. Not terrible. I've seen a bit better, but it isn't terrible really. Well, just for a last shot, Libreoffice Writer. Why not? It's normal that it'll load. Hovers around in the 15 to 20% range. Discard recovery data. Well, it doesn't seem too bad. Let me just write like a freak. Okay. Sustains. Now I'm just writing gibberish to see if the CPU goes any higher. And well, I am hitting everything, so what am I expecting? Well, it is a terrible browser. Video games seems to handle. The CPU usage is kind of high if you want to use very high animation, and Office, well, you can see the lag. So, take my word for it, this thing is not up to par. So let's wrap things up. So there we have it. This is the Toshiba C650D. $500 for a budget machine at this time. Not good at all. It has subpar performance. Linux, well, an LXLE distro actually seems to help it a bit. But if you ever wanted to run Windows, be prepared. A little update can take you up to an hour. Sometimes I've seen this thing take up to 20 minutes to boot, and the machine was clean. I mean, I was keeping a good track on it, and the previous owner, was never satisfied with it. I wonder why. And like I've mentioned again, $500 for a budget machine like this is definitely not worth it. The 6 gigs of RAM was an attractive point, but the rest was all deceptive. It was just a deceptive laptop. And because of this, overall, I am giving this laptop a 3 out of 10. It is a decent performer. The battery life is great because the CPU is low powered. If you want to use a different board, you'll have to pretty much drill yourself a fan here, well, the fan holes, because this thing uses a fan, but very small, very tiny. Sometimes I'm pretty sure it is passive, because I really don't hear it much. Other than that, well, yeah, basic stuff, DVD burner, it works. The job is done. It gets the job done if you're really patient, but really, for $500 in 2011, you could have gotten way better stuff. Sure, you may or may not have 40 gigs of RAM, and that wouldn't be a big deal because 6 gigs of RAM was overkill in 2011 for most machines. And to be quite frank, would you rather have 4 gigs of RAM or even 3 gigs of RAM and a much better CPU so you can upgrade the RAM later, or have a shitty CPU, 6 gigs of RAM to boot, and you can't change that CPU because it's soldered in? So if you got any questions, comments, anything I've overlooked or not looked at this particular laptop right here, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you have stories or anything you wanted to share about this particular machine, please feel free to leave a comment down below as well. And of course, until next time, stay bold and take care. Serial ATA 150. What the fuck?